Hello, I am Fatma Noor. Welcome to the Myanmar window of languages. Today we are going to learn Kikuyu language consonants in the foundation course. Many of them are like English language consonants, but a few are very different. As usual, listen keenly to the lesson, write notes in your book, and record yourself repeating them for marking by your teacher. Enjoy this lesson.
Hello. Today we are going to talk about the Kikuyu alphabet. Now there are some letters which appear in the alphabet, the way it is used in English, that are missing in the Kikuyu language. You never use them in the Kikuyu language if you are speaking Kikuyu. These are F, L, P, Q, V, X, Z. I will repeat: F, L, P, Q, V, X, and Z. Consonants. B. There are two versions of B. One with an M as a prefix, like in the word bariki, castor oil, bariki. When a Kikuyu speaks, you may hear as if it's a plain B, but when it's written, it has to have the M, bariki, castor oil. The next B is a plain B, which looks like the Swahili B. For example, in the word baba in Swahili. But in Kikuyu, you will say vava. So you have the lips not very tightly shut together. So you allow a small space between the lips for the air to pass as you say vava. The nearest word that we speak using this pronunciation is Mahabharat. In the Indian epic story Mahabharat. C. A C in Kikuyu sounds like SH in the word shilling. So the example that I'm going to give you is Shosho, grandmother. Shosho. A D in Kikuyu is prefixed with the letter N always. So the example is in the word doro, mud. Doro. When a Kikuyu speaks, you're going to hear as if it's a plain D, but actually in the written form it must have N. G, guka, grandfather. Gu. So it's a soft G. G. Like in the word guka for grandfather. H is a very ordinary H, just as in English. I'll give you an example. Ha ha, to mean here. And K is also another ordinary letter. And the example is karamu, pen. Karamu, pen. And this one is straight from Swahili. It's borrowed from the Swahili word kalamu. But Kikuyus have a problem with L, so they usually substitute with R. So kalamu becomes karamu. M is just like in English, the way you'd use M for mother. So in our case here, maito for mother, maito. Now letter N can be used as a prefix for letter D, and as we can see here, for letter G. And when it is used for letter G, the sound becomes harder than the first one where there was no N. You remember guka. Now it's nga, gari. The example I'm giving you is gari for car. Now N can also be prefixed again with the G but you put an apostrophe after the G and the sound becomes nga, nga, like in the word moranga or in the name nganga. Now, J is never written without the prefix N, and the example we have here is Jeri. So when a Kikuyu is speaking, you hear as if it's a plain J, but in written form it is always prefixed with an N. Jeri. R is very normal, ordinary R, just like in English and Kiswahili. So I'm giving you 3 words here. Rora, which means look. Rara, which means spend the night. And ruta, which means remove. Letter T also is very common, just like in English and Kiswahili. Tene, meaning long ago. Tene, like the way you would say 10 in English. Tene. Now, when T is suffixed with H, just like in English, TH becomes V, like than, then, this. So the Kikuyu word that I'm giving you is dhani, plate. Y can be prefixed with an N so that you get the word nya, the sound nya, like nyanya, a tomato. Or when it's just plain, it becomes the usual Y, and when it is YA, it's ya. Yakwa, mine. The word yakwa, mine. W, another very straightforward letter. I'm going to give you the example of a woman's name, Wajiko. Wajiko is a fairly common woman's name. Wajiko.
I hope that was fun and very useful to you. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. See you next time.